Edition from miles ahead.
98.9 Win FM.
Minutes after 8 o'clock, and we're gonna get right to it. We no preamble, nothing. We got
and what are you
we got some happy news to share with you guys. I don't know if general public knows that the Bastia High School cheerleaders won themselves a bronze medal at a recent cheerleading competition. So we got Isa Kamal here and two students on the Bastia High School to tell us about it. Good morning, guys. What's up?
Greetings.
Hey.
I'm grand. I'm always happy to be here at Win FM. So.
The man is grand.
He's grand.
Yeah.
You ready for your competition? Since they won their competition, are you ready for yours?
We'll talk about that next time. I understand it.
I'm just saying question. That's all. So good morning and welcome to Island Tea to all three of you. We know Issa. He's no stranger for folks around here. He's a big shot. So good morning to the teacher, and I guess you're the coach. You're the coach of the team.
So
Can I assume correctly?
So let me clear that up actually, because I get that confusion a lot. I actually do not work for the government. I'm very much on my own out here. Yeah, so I'm not a teacher at the Bastia High School. However, the cheer and dance team, I've been a coach, a senior coach at that for about maybe 6-7 odd years.
Oh, I thought you were a teacher.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah.
I give that aura, ain't it?
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right, and we have two of the members from the cheer squad, so I'll let them introduce themselves. Ladies first.
Hi, good morning. My name is Janelle Hobson, and I am the captain for the Bastia High School cheer and dance team.
Okay.
Hi, good morning. My name is Antonio Manos, and I am a bass and stuntsman for the Bastia High School cheer team.
Okay, so let's talk about the competition. When was the competition?
It was Friday, November 1st in Totola BVI.
Okay. How did you find out about this competition, and what did you do to ensure that you made the entry on time?
All right, so it was actually through invitation.
Okay.
So the team in the BVI sent an invitation to the school via our principal.
Okay.
And we got the invitation. I don't know what the communication was. It said May, but we got the invitation like mid or late August.
Okay.
So you could understand the kind of crunch that was happening in terms of getting the team together and getting everything sorted out. We still had to do tryouts and everything, but it was really a great journey. You understand? Most of these athletes have never seen the sport of cheer before September. And we had to get them ready for a competition that was basically at the end of October.
Okay.
You know, so it was a lot. It was a feat to carry 20-something people on a plane from here to there and back.
I want to say I remember that feat, but I see you got through. So that's So to the captain, how tedious was it to get ready?
How tedious it was.
Okay, trying to get them closer to the mic. Get even closer. Yeah. Yeah. Mics don't bite.
When you say how tedious, what do you mean?
How hard was it for you to practice, get everything together, being the captain? We know young people don't like to listen these days, right? So how did you manage all of that?
Well, I am used to the sport of cheer and dance. To get ready and prepared, it wasn't as hard, but to prepare the rest, at least, it was quite difficult because, as Coach Kamal said, I was just introduced to the sport of cheer, so it was quite difficult to get them prepared and keep them focused.
Okay. Antonio being the bass and the stuntsman, what about you?
For me, it was, well, I wouldn't want to say like I worked more than them, but carrying people, children on my hands and whatnot, it was a bit hard at
You can
times.
say you work more than them, that's okay. 'Cause when something, that's okay.
Well, yeah, I would like to say I worked hard at them. And then usually practice didn't end like long, but so it was crunch time. We had multiple nights where we just stay down there where we're training, 17 degrees, till about like 10 o'clock also.
Okay, that's not bad because you guys going to be home on your phones anyway at 10 o'clock and be lounging, right?
Yeah.
But I know practice, something that you have to do over and over.
Correct.
It's a tad difficult, right?
I really want to highlight that because other persons don't understand the kind of tedious work that goes into the sport of cheer in terms of getting their bodies ready. It's a great dynamic in terms of connecting their mind, body, and spirit. You understand? And it's not just about winning trophies. I always instill in them every time that you have to move as a team. Not because this is a team sport, but because the morale is, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and that's not to bring anybody down, but that's to raise everybody because high water lifts all boats. You feel me?
Yeah.
And during our sessions, we even welcomed other coaches from other schools. You understand? Because they wanted to know what's going on at Bastille High School to really get
So
them
only
energized.
Bastille High School got the invitation?
Correct.
Go Stormer.
Yeah, because
I'm an alumni.
we're
Jams is an alumni as well.
we're the three-peat national champions, so that's what
I know.
Body top.
So that's why I'm finding it a bit hard to hearing you guys say it was a bit tedious.
Well, yeah,
because I look at you all the time when they have the local competitions, and I know Bastille High is the best.
Well,
so.
remember, young people grow. You
Okay.
understand? Young people grow. So every time we go into a competition, it's going to be a fairly new set because a lot of the times we have persons who they make it for maybe 1, 2, or 3 years, but then there's only a 5-year allotment for these children. And I'm happy that Captain stayed on because she's a senior, and you know how CISEC can get with the academic preparation for that. You understand? So sometimes we tend to taper off with our fifth formers, and a lot of persons, we didn't have a competition this January.
Okay.
And so that would mean then that persons who didn't get the opportunity to do the local competition this year, they did it the year before. And so all of those persons would have tapered off as well.
Okay.
Going into the Tortola competition, we really only had one person from the last three-peat that we did at Bird Rock.
Okay.
That would have been exposed to all of that before.
Okay.
So, the children go very quickly. So, that is why it was kind of a tedious thing. Yeah.
I have two questions. The first one, I need you to tell me about the fitness regimen that applies to cheerleading, and I need you to tell me explain what the base. You said base and another.
Bass and stuntsman.
Bass and stuntsman.
So
Full
tell
of
me.
stunts.
Okay, so I need you to explain to me bass and stuntsman, and I want Issa Kamal, and of course you guys to tell me about the fitness and exercise regimen that cheerleaders have to go through.
Okay.
Y'all be brutally honest.
Okay.
So you guys had an additional fitness instructor, like a physical education, like a physical.
Well, there's lots
like
of coaches.
Oh,
you understand?
okay.
Plenty of volunteer coaches. I'm going to say that very out loud, right? That assist with all of this, and so we are very happy for that. You understand? I'm going to let them dive into the actual fitness stuff that we did. The sessions, but we have plenty of coaches. Myself, the head coach, Miss Williams. We also have Coach Richards at the ministry. There is Coach Kabam. Most persons know him as one of the St. Peter's actors. So he would have been part of the gymnastics portion of that as well. We also have a lot of junior coaches who are alumni, in case Kevion, Alana, Don Rod, Ariana Byron, that's Kevion Hodge-Huggins, and Shakim Forbes, who really come and really make this thing what it is. But tell them about the fitness, Captain.
That was a good accent, Antonio. Well, to be honest, when we started our prepared, it was terrible. It was terrible. The preparations when everything with the fitness and the physical fitness, it was terrible. He was working as extra hard so that like we only had about a good month to prepare. And on Saturdays we used to do intensive where we would run to Frigate Bay Beach and practice with stunts and with flips and everything over there and with lifts. Anything else?
And then run back?
No.
They got the easy way out.
That's what I would have done, but anyway.
Yeah.
So Stuntsman, your turn.
Well, you want me to fit my question again? Oh my God, that's one.
Oh yeah, I want to know what the base is.
A base is basically someone. You know how there is.
So it's always a male.
No, not always a male.
No,
Because she's
I
a
am one
base.
too.
Oh, you're a
But
base. Okay.
A base is one of those people that like hold up
Wait.
the people you see flying in the air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what a base is. And then, you know, I'm sure you know what a stuntsman is. You look like a
Yeah.
stuntsman yourself.
So why you want to do it like that this morning? So what's a stuntsman for those of us who don't know what a
A
stuntsman is?
stuntsman is basically those that do flips and whatnot, your little cat wheels.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a stuntsman.
So do you vet who does what from what they actually show you they can do?
You know what's interesting? We don't have to
Okay.
because what we find is that a lot of the persons, we don't tell people to come, right? We don't
Okay.
force them into the team.
Mhm.
We have tryout sessions and we say, here, come, try some things if you want to join, right? Most of the times we don't really send away people either. You know, they come with this vigor and this energy to get into the sport of cheer, and then they start to show us things, you understand?
Okay.
I remember we were having a late night one night, and one of them came up to me and said, Coach, look at what I can do. And then she did this aerial thing without her hands and something, and I was like, where did you learn to do that? She's like, I was at home. And then she showed me the video, and she was showing me how she was training and everything. I was like, yeah. So we don't really have to vet them, you know?
Oh, okay.
We come in, they show us their things, you understand? Antonio came in not knowing how to do anything. You feel me?
Oh.
But he put in the work. You understand? You should see him with Coach Kabam. I remember they were doing some push-ups sessions, things, right? Where they had to hold it and then they go up and then they go up more and then they hold it and then some.
Little torture.
You understand? They're telling you about the laps we just make them run too. Every time,
They're
including
being
this
nice.
afternoon.
Oh. Okay, so they have an exercise regimen. You guys have an exercise regimen at least 2 or 3 days of the week.
Beforehand we were 5 days of the week. It was Monday to Thursday, and then intensive on Saturday. But yeah, I could
And
say
this
we have
was in preparation for the competition in BVI.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when you went to the BVI and you saw the other schools, were you intimidated? Did you even think you were going to come back to St. Kitts with a place?
Yes, we did. It's us. It's Thomas.
Oh, okay. All right.
Us.
All right. So you weren't intimidated by the schools that came first and second?
No.
No.
We weren't.
no.
Would you say you learned anything from them? You garner any pointers? I'm not saying copy, but learn. Did you learn anything from the
Yeah.
first and second place schools?
On the first place from Rams, I learned that like we need to be more in sync. Basically, we watch.
You mean on the local scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, like the reason that we got knocked down, I guess, is because we weren't in sync.
Oh, okay.
And then you watch the Rams and you just see how they just more like one big giraffe or something. I don't know how to explain
okay.
it. Yeah, like one body.
The Rams are with school. Are we I'm thinking the supermarket, you know. Are we talking the I'm thinking local. I'm going to be honest. Are we talking the competition in Tortola?
Yes.
So
ma'am.
who are the Rams?
The Rams are the I can't
Which
remember
school?
the name. Right now.
ESHS, I think.
Oh, the Elmore.
Elmore.
Elmore
Yeah.
South High
Yeah.
School.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
My aunt teaches there and one just retired from there, yeah. So they were the first place ones, so they were in
Right.
sync.
Right.
What about the second place ones?
The second place ones. I can't say what I think about the second place ones on here. Feel that's very,
okay.
very inappropriate.
So why do you think that your cheer squad isn't in sync? What do you think is missing, and how do you intend to get that synchronicity? And how soon?
That's a good question. I feel like the more we practice, the more we gain sync. Like he said, since it was our first time doing cheer, like all of us was outside, so we were both trained to learn how to distance them and
Okay.
learn how to be in sync at the same time, and it just couldn't be done in 1 month.
Okay.
Piggybacking off of that, like a lot of the schools that were in this regional competition, they've been doing this for years. Like they go to mainland America to compete in their
I had a niece
competitions
that
as well.
did that.
You feel me?
Yeah, from the BBI.
Right? So, you know, they start school earlier than us. They start school in August, you know. And so we get to this invitation. We have to scramble to get some people and stuff like that. Normally, we're good for January.
Yeah.
Definitely not November.
Okay.
But they definitely came out and they beat people who are used to this.
That's what I'm saying.
You
The fact that
understand?
this is their first time, because I saw a young lady at the airport and I saw with the medal. I said, "What did you come?" Because it looked shiny. You know, it's supposed to be. And she said third, and I'd be like, "Oh, good. Keep up the good work." And she was even, I think, rehearsing her chair while she was standing there waiting on someone to pick her up. And she was like, and I'm like, okay. The competition still goes on even after the competition.
Because cheer is a lifestyle, you understand?
Yeah.
It has to be ingrained in the body, you feel me? I think that's why they keep me so long, because cheer has been a part of my life for quite a long time. And I was a cheerleader in my high school.
I was just going to ask.
Yeah, that.
Bass as well? Stuntsman as well? Because you look like
you
got a
plenty
few.
things. I was vice captain
okay.
of my squad 1 year.
Okay, good stuff.
And then I went to Northern America, and then I was able to cheer with my team. My team is a Class B division, so that's like the second highest tier. And we won our competitions as well.
Oh,
so,
nice.
not that I'm certified in any way. Hopefully, if there is incentive to do that, then I will. However, I really do have an adoration for the sport, not because it also infuses my love for art as well, but because of the intricate discipline that it needs in order to succeed. And it teaches so much, you understand? Some sports are individual sports. So you can run as a team in the Olympics, but if you run in your race and you win, then that's a medal for you.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody will celebrate you. If you mess up as a team, if you are great, in your team, but somebody else isn't, then guess what? It's the entire team.
Yeah.
It's at stake. So it really teaches you to respect other persons as well, and respect their time, their place, and their spirit. It teaches camaraderie in a very beautiful way.
Glad to hear.
You understand? What they're not telling you is all the cantankerousness that they got up into in Tortola, you understand? While we were adults. We were the adults doing all of the messy logistic stuff. And here I am. I saw a video of them. They were getting on good with all the other teams, actually. They were like dance battles, and part of that. There was like chant battles and stuff like that. You could really see they were socializing in a very beautiful manner.
That's
and
good.
I think that's what I appreciated most. That's why we pushed so hard, you understand?
Yeah,
to
well,
make sure they get an experience.
Yeah.
And the team is called the Bastille High School Stormers, right?
Yes.
So how many people are on the team?
Plenty.
How many?
Well,
I don't know.
20 you
saying-
said, eh?
No,
I'm
no,
not-
I said plenty. I'm waiting for them to answer.
we went with, I believe, 17 students. But
Captain, you
There's
sure?
more.
Captain don't look
Yes.
sure, you know.
It's 17,
Captain, how
it's-
many of you represented us in Tortola? I
It was
said
seven-
us
it
as
was
in
se-
St.
It was
Kitts.
17 of us, but 15 of us performed.
Yeah.
But in St. Kitts, there is more on the team.
Oh, okay, so the two were just in case if anybody got injured?
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And how many teams participated?
Five.
5 teams.
Yeah.
The rest were from the BVI.
Well, no, there was
St.
others from.
Thomas,
There you go.
Saint-
St.
okay.
Croix.
Mm-hmm.
Two was from St. Thomas, and one was from St. Croix. He had Tortola and then us.
Okay.
Let us say out loud that other countries were invited
Mm-hmm.
and closer to, because I was a part of the group chat long time, right? And because of logistical challenges, they decided to pull out. You understand? But we stayed the course.
Yes, of course you did. So
You understand?
kudos on that because you said you got it a tad late and then you hurried up. You would have been ready for January, but you proved yourself to be ready now.
Correct. You understand? They,
So
they do a lot, you know. I'm just the guy that shouts.
Yeah.
So there was no paper involved
In
as
terms
part
of-
of the win?
Winnings.
Oh, definitely there was a cash prize.
Oh,
you
so there was a
understand?
paper medal. Good.
Yeah. We're not going to say what the cash prize is out loud.
Okay, all
you
right, I
understand?
Price for every space, right? In terms of first, second, third.
Definitely.
Okay, just
I
wanna
know
make
we
sure,
will
yeah.
say it out loud. It was 750 United States
You
dollars.
don't have to say it out loud.
I can say
You
it
don't
out
have
because
to
it's
say it.
it's in the news press anyway.
Oh,
It was 750 United States dollars.
Okay.
But that in itself is a feat too, because normally what happens with cheer competitions, especially with ones in Northern America and across the world, is that winner takes all. That's how our competition used to be in St. Kitts as well.
So the
winner
first,
takes all.
the second, and third place gets nothing.
No.
Wow.
That's how it usually is, but
Okay.
we're happy that there was a consideration to kind of split up between at least the top three.
Okay. Did we get the trophy as well, or just the medals that I saw the young lady had on?
Oh yeah, definitely. Them they hold on to that trophy a lot. Listen, we were supposed to have an assembly the day we got back, right? Logistical challenges meant that we had to push it back. Do you know they kept their trophy in their houses?
I did. I kept the trophy in my house.
They kept the trophy and the cardboard check.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
And then they eventually brought it when it was assembly time.
The trophy may see the cardboard check yet.
So what's next for the group?
Boy, plenty things. We're right now gearing. They want to go to the next one next year. Next year it's going to be St. Thomas.
Yeah, we want a redemption.
Okay. And we're looking forward to really continuing our rise as a team, especially with our valued partners. Let me do that before we, you know.
Please.
We want to really thank the Office of the Prime Minister. You know, Dr. Drew has expressed his appreciation and his support for the advancement of the sport of cheer within the Federation. And his office has been so beautifully kind to us along this journey, you understand?
Okay.
We want to thank KFC, the Meal of Champions, you feel me? They've been a long-standing partner with us for a long time. Y'all go check out their new menu items, the spicy nuggets, the brownies, and the
saucy wings.
That's
Oh,
okay.
saucy
You understand?
wings, okay.
And they're all healthy. I need to say that because some people think that KFC is not healthy. Go eat the KFC because champions eat it and they return with big wins. We also have Best Way Pharmacy who came in. Of
Okay.
course, Giant Malt, who is one of the sponsors for the local team. They came in as well to kind of help us in our journey here as well. And lots of donors, lots of there's a lot that went into this.
Okay.
So the team is doing a lot. We're looking forward to the carnival celebrations right now. We're also looking forward to the local competition should it come off because we're still waiting for the renovations at the stadium.
Okay.
The St. Thomas thing, and we're also doing a lot of promotional things for the team. Look up for videos, you understand, not just ads, but like actual dance performance videos,
Okay.
and really boosting them and all in the name of advancing the sport of cheer, not only in our horizons, but on the global stage as well.
Okay. Well, congratulations again. Keep doing well.
Thank
Keep
you,
making
thank
us
you.
proud. I know I'm a Stormer for life, and who vexed that? Y'all have a great day.
Bless.
Okay, sounds good. That's Issa Kamal. Give me your guys' names at the end before you go.
Antonio and Janaya.
Okay,
Captain
Antonio and
Janaya.
Janaya.
Yeah, Captain Janaya and bass and stuntsman Antonio.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, we got Weekly Dose coming up next, and it's all about mold. Everything you needed to know about mold and more will be answered by the good doctor coming up next on Weekly Dose. I'm saying big thanks to Issa Kamal for holding it down with the BHS Stormers. My school, of course. BHS alumnus here. All right, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, head off
too.
head off to assembly now.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
What gift gives you joy?
An investment in land. That's joy to my future.
Finance your land with CIBC Caribbean and we'll gift you up to US $500 towards valuation fees, no loan application fee, and up to 15 years to repay. Plus, we'll also give you the chance to win one of 3 cash prizes in your country from our regional pot of over US $100,000. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/joy of giving for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Well, it's time for Weekly Dose. It's 8:35, and we've got Dr. Natalie Osborne. And the topic for discussion this morning is actually, Natalie, I was actually on my computer when it came in, so I saw it coming on the edge, the notification. I was like, yeah, why didn't I think of that before? Because I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure the listeners have a lot of questions as well.
Well, we may have to divide this in two parts if we run out of time. All right. Good morning, everyone. So it's always great to be here. It's a rainy morning, so some persons might be snuggled up at home or trying to get to work.
We're here, though.
Well, we have to be here because it's our duty and our service to the nation. So that's why we're here. Always bringing information, always informing the general public.
So as Jamsta mentioned, the topic for today's Weekly Dose is mold. So let us start with the overview.
M-O-L-D, not mold on the skin. So we're talking environmental mold.
You said
mold.
Okay,
M-O-L-D.
yes, M-O-L-D and not M-O-L. Yes, of course. So let's have the overview, and then we'll dive into what is mold, M-O-L-D.
All right. So first of all, this is a topic that oftentimes persons ask me about, and you're hearing all of this throughout the community about mold infesting certain institutional buildings and mold. So there's a lot of questions and discussions on mold, but there's always mold around. So I just want us to know that, okay? So molds have been on the earth for millions of years, okay, right? And it can get into your home, right, through your clothes, to your vents, your HVAC ducts, your animals, your pets, and things like that, heating and air conditioning, all right? So they can be indoor and outdoors as well. There are over 300,000 different types of mold, okay? So you want to keep that in mind. So there's quite a variety of it, so you can't escape it at some point.
So what is mold?
So these are small microorganisms, okay? They're living things, okay? And they can grow, okay, both indoors and outdoors, wherever there is moisture. They love moisture. And they're part of the kingdom of the fungi. So they're part of that fungus kingdom. That's why there's so much of them. All right? So they're part of the ecosystem as well. So they break down plant and animal matter. So you're going to see them where there is any area of decomposition and things like that. And there's lots of moisture outside. Leaves, you're going to see them in area that it doesn't get much sun. Okay? So those areas. And they can cause allergies and infect some persons as well too, if you're allergic to it.
Wow. Let's talk about the types of MOLDS, mold.
Yeah, so there are lots of different types of mold, Kortensia, multiple, all right? And multiple different types of these mold can grow in different areas. You may not be able to identify all of the different types of mold. But fortunately, it's important to know you do not need to know what type is infecting the environment. You just need to know how to get rid of it. Ultimately, that's the end goal of getting rid of it. So some of the most common types of molds that we've found is the cladosporium. These are going to be some, the words are going to be a bit heavy, some of them. You've got things like the penicillium, Aspergillus molds, okay? This is one of the common ones. The
Aspergillus?
Yes, the Aspergillus in our community. I spoke to one of the ladies who work at the lab, and she told me that one is often isolated here in our community. But of that Aspergillus, there's still lots of subtypes of that, okay? And there's another one, the Stachybotrys mold. That's like a black mold. You commonly call that the black mold, and that is often around too. It likes to attach to some type of tough, rugged material like cellulose, paper products, wood products, dry walls. So in lots of places where you have these dry walls, you're going to find these molds attaching to it as well too.
So what is the difference between mold spores and
mycotoxins. So mold spores, moles, right? They just like any other creature. Their objective is to reproduce, multiply. So the spores are like the tiny micro organisms that use for reproduction. So these spores break off and they fly around in the environment and they lodge into different areas, and where they're going to multiply once there is moisture, dampness, darkness that tends to love there. All right, so they require moisture to germinate and to grow into new molds. Okay, so those are microscopic organisms. So the molds, you can breathe in the spores of these molds because they're all around in the environment. And the mycotoxins now, these are poisonous substance that is produced by these molds, okay? They can be toxic to humans. They can get into your airways. You can eat them, get into your skin. So you inhale them. They get attached to your skin and absorb through the skin, and they can be eaten, okay? So a small amount of mycotoxin, those can be quite damaging to the human and animal health and even cause death. So if you have any poisoning by these mycotoxins, it is called mycotoxicosis. Mycotoxicosis.
Okay.
So you want to know also that not all of these molds produce toxins. So there are lots of molds. Some would produce toxins, some won't. So some of the ones that are commonly known to produce these toxins are the penicillium, you've heard of that before, aspergillus, fusarium, cladosporium, and the stachybotrys mold. That is the black mold.
Wow. How do molds have any benefits?
Also, if we want to know if molds have any benefits or they do anything good in this environment. So molds a part of food. A lot of times, some of these foods that we eat, like these cheese, blue cheese, the citric acid and stuff, these are components that you get from molds. You want to think about the introduction of the first antibiotic, penicillin. It came from that mold of fungus that is the penicillium, discovered way back when by Alexander Fleming, okay? And there was that later used, and it was the first introduction of antibiotics in the world that saved hundreds of thousands of lives, which we still have today. So it's all a result of a fungus or a mold.
Quick fun fact is the other day I was reading, a few weeks ago I was reading about penicillin, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was curious. I remember when I was a kid I had walking pneumonia.
Yes.
And I was curious. I remember one time they gave me ampicillin, another time they gave me penicillin. And when I went to research, I found out that the ampicillin subclass is from the same penicillin, but it's slightly different, but it also kills bacteria.
Yes.
So I thought that was very interesting.
Basically, mold kill bacteria.
Yeah.
Wow.
The mold killed the bacteria, so we got that. Okay. So they also form parts of important drugs like immunosuppressant drugs. Okay, so these are drugs. If you have an organ transplant, you want to make sure that your body does not reject this organ. So you need some kind of immunosuppressive drug. So your body doesn't see this organ as a foreign object or invader and attack it. So some of these drugs is a cyclosporin, which is an immunosuppressant drug, and it is used worldwide. So that comes from mold as well, which is called the Tolipocladium. Inflatum. Tolipocladium inflatum. Boy, that's like a different language we're speaking here.
I swear.
And it's also important in drugs that we use for cholesterol. You remember these statins? So the lovastatin is from the Aspergillus terreus. So these are some of the important benefit of these same mold or fungi that we speak about.
Okay.
So the inflatum one, that sounds like it gives off a gas. Yes, no,
just because
it's right there in the name.
Flatus.
Yeah.
Okay. Let us talk about this.
Funny, really.
Well, it's gonna flatulence. What are the symptoms of mold exposure, though?
So mold in your home won't necessarily cause any symptoms a lot of times, or it won't necessarily make you sick. but it does have the potential of causing severe health issues if you're allergic to these molds or you're exposed to it in large quantity over a long period of time. Remember, I first said that mold is all around us, so the spores are all around us. We inhale it, but in smaller quantities, our body can get rid of it and it does not become a problem. But some of the common symptoms, you can have irritation of the eyes, okay? And runny nose and nasal congestion, sore throat, skin rashes as a result of it. Chronic exposure to mold can give you chronic headaches. Some persons have given stories of being in a house with mold for years and couldn't understand some of the symptoms of chronic migraines and headaches, brain fog, that you're not remembering some of the common things and you realize that you're losing your chain of thought. You can have this chronic fatigue as well too. Depression, and typically it usually worsens some of your already existing symptoms, okay? Lung irritation, sneezing, coughing, postnasal dripping, chronic sinusitis. So these are persons who come to the doctor, they treat them with for a sinus infection, and then they keep having these repeated infections, okay? And if persons who already are asthmatic or have any chronic lung pathology, it can worsen them. Like asthma, you can have wheezing, you can have worsening of your shortness of breath, tightness of the chest, and worsening of the these dry cough symptoms.
How can one tell if there is mold in the house?
So to find out if there's mold in the house, some people say that you can smell mold. There's a musty characteristical smell to it, okay? Most of the times, they can be of any color. So with the molds, the different type of mold, they can be green, they can be black, they can be white, all right? Sometimes you're going to see them because they have this smooth, velvety appearance, and they're going to be in corners that are usually dark and damp, like and it has this musty, earthy smell. So in your shower where there's water, if there's a leakage in your AC unit in that area there, under the sink oftentimes, if there's a leakage in your sink, under the cabinets, you have mold developed there, all right? So in areas, you're going to see things like cracking of the paint and peeling of whatever material this mold is growing on, okay?
How common is mold in buildings?
Well, mold is very common in buildings. Mold is very common in buildings. In one study in 2017, it shows that mold was in every public building that was studied, and with an average of 14 instances of 14 different types of mold in these buildings. And in 2012, a review also found that in 31 European countries, mold was in 1 in every 6 homes. Wow. So the prevalence of mold may be greater depending on your location, because climate matters as well, especially in areas that have high humidity. So you have those areas where the humidity is high, there is moisture. Once that mold or that spore gets in, it lodges in an area, it can multiply because it gets the nutrients and stuff that it needs from the damp moisture that it meets in those areas.
And once mold spores, I think you kind of touched on how they got indoors before, but I don't know if you want to touch on anything.
So how do these molds get inside the house? So it's going to come in any open doors, any windows that are opening, any HVAC, you talk about your heating and cooling units. So you're always going to find those. You're going to find those so you see these buildings that have these centralized AC. You're going to find in those tubings, those big aluminum things. Yeah, you're going to see them there. They can come in on your shoes, on your clothing, through your pets, okay? And so once they get inside, as we said before, they can multiply once the condition favors them, that warmth and damp place in the sinks, bathtubs, in your showers, in any leaky pipes around your windows there's any leakage, in your basement as well too, any crawl space. If you have an attic, I don't think most of us here locally have attics, but in places where you have your attic, those places, if your roof starts leaking, nobody goes up there quite often, and these molds are going to start there, and you go and you see them, okay?
Who is at risk of mold allergy?
So just like any allergy or any allergen, mold is like an allergen, and so persons can become allergic to it. Not everybody will be allergic to these mold and their spores and stuff. But you may likely to be have a mold allergy if you have a family history of allergies. So the persons who have just general allergic reaction to different substance. If you work in a building that has more than 50% humidity. So the humidity is going to be important, a factor, because the higher the humidity is, the moister that environment is, and that mold can grow and multiply. If the building or the area that you are working in has poor ventilation, Kortensia, and if you've lived or work in a building that had exposure to a flood, so if there was a rainstorm and there's been flooding in your home, you've got to make sure that you get the place dried out properly, because you have now an increased propensity of developing mold because of that extreme moisture. Certain types of jobs that you work at too, you can be exposed to mold, such as farmers, because they're on lots of stuff like the grains and the dry fruits and different things like that. Lumber millers, because they work with these lumber materials, so the mold love these type of woods and these type of tree-like material. Woodworkers, so you're more exposed to having. And winemakers, they say, you're more exposed to. So yet again, avoid the wine.
I noticed.
There's always something in there for you, John.
No.
But you see,
wine is good for
like
you.
blue cheese. I love blue cheese. But to think that I'm actually ingesting mold that is good.
I guess that's one of the beneficial ones.
Yeah, one of the beneficial
ones.
ones.
To think this is mold, and I don't look at it as yuck as to when I see the mold on the walls or in the bags or in the clothes, but I'm ingesting that. Oh, wow. So we love wine, but look, we got to be careful. Shucks me. Okay.
Never going to stop the wine, that's for sure.
So how is
I use that prick Jamsta, just a little bit.
So how is a mold allergy diagnosed?
So people get excited about having these molds. Test me for molds. I've always heard that as well too. So different ways. You can do things like skin prick tests. So you get the mold allergen and a special needle, and you prick the skin, very superficial, and you leave it for 15-30 minutes, and you see a reaction to that specific type of mold. Remember, there are multiple different types of mold, and you're going to see if that person has reaction to some of the more common ones in the environment. You can do a blood test. You take a sample of blood, of course, that goes to the lab, and you're testing for the antibodies for mold. So you have the IgE antibodies and the IgG antibodies, of course, okay? You can do a nasal swab, because we know that these spores get into our nasal passage and can grow there. So you can do a nasal swab in persons who have things like recurrent sinus infection. And you can culture a sputum. So if you think that this person has an infection as a result of mold, you can get some of the sputum, the saliva, and you can culture that in the lab and see if there is any growth. There's some talk about urine, but that can be very non-specific, because we have a lot of the same molds that we eat and stuff. And so it can be very difficult and give you a lot of false positive, okay? So the most common ones, you're going to use the skin test, where you're checking to see if you have an allergic reaction. You can use the blood sampling test, looking for the antibodies, and you can use the sputum and the culture, all right, checking for molds.
So how are mold allergies treated?
So if you are allergic to a mold, you're not going to get rid of that. The same way if you're allergic to certain environmental things like pollens and stuff like that, if you're allergic to some foods or some, but you want to avoid it as much as possible, okay, so that you can not have much contact with the mold as well. So the first step in treating mold is to get rid of it, Jamsta. Everybody talks about mold, but we've got to clean our house. If you see an area that is moistened or damp, you got to get it treated. If you need to remove certain sidings or board material that you know that is infected by that mold, you want to get rid of that. So some things that you can do, you can use antihistamines. If you have an allergic allergic reaction. Because remember, the allergic reaction is your body's response releasing these histamines from certain mast cells to respond to these allergens. So it's your body really creating all these symptoms. So you want to use antihistamine. You could do nasal irrigation to kind of wash away some of those mold spores and stuff. Nasal corticosteroids, so certain steroids can be used to help get rid of them. Decongestant, asthma inhalers, allergy. You can do allergy shots as well too, to get rid of, to help you control your response to some of these allergens. And persons who are asthmatic, you want to use your asthma inhalers, because the same way you're allergic to dust and dust particles, pollens, you can be allergic to these mold and their spores.
But quick question, the inhalers and the allergy shots, those are basically just different ways to administer the same antihistamines.
Yes, and to control the response, control it, yeah.
So how do we get rid of mold?
We keep talking about this, and it's important. So you want to clean out these molds. If you see a mold growing in a particular area, dry that area out, scrub that mold down. You can do a lot of these stuff on your own at home, wearing these non-porous gloves, use an N95 mask. So you're trying to make sure you do not take. And you can use some bleach water. They say that a cup of bleach in like a gallon of water, and you scrub that mold down if it's a small area. You may want to get an expert in if it is a much bigger area, a large building. Of course, you're not going to be able to do that on your own. But simply soap and water and bleach can get rid of most of these mold particles that we have around, so you know that. Okay, you want to also open your windows before you start dealing with these molds, so make sure that you have good ventilation. I remember one time when I was younger, I was trying to get rid of something, clean up something real good, and I mix ammonia, which can be used to clean the mold, with Clorox, and that was the worst thing. It produced such a toxic fume, and you're not supposed to do that, so I'm warning people. Yeah. So if you're going to clean with Clorox and the water, you do that alone. If you're going to use some kind of ammonia substance, you use that alone, and just soap and water and a little brush that you're going to toss away after. You want to toss away any dirty, damp clothes and make sure that you clean up those bathrooms. There are lots of commercial products that are being labeled to kill mildew and mold, so you want to get rid of them. But it's about cleaning and always looking and observing under your cabinets in the kitchen if there's a pipe that is there, to make sure there's no leakage. Since I started doing this research for this topic, I became a little bit, oh boy, I need to make sure clean a little bit better, make sure I'm looking for things, that gets in your head.
Exactly.
I threw out, actually, let me tell you the story, I threw out what you call that, a chopping board that was wood this weekend, because I saw a dark spot on it. I said, that
oh, it's probably fine.
She's having the moments that we all have.
We all have.
Like, okay.
So,
to go.
Yeah, but I remember those board material, and I use it a lot
to
chop
like cellulose,
the stuff.
Yes,
I love the cellulose, and I chop the stuff, and I'm constantly washing it to make sure it's clean. And then I see these spots there, say, "No, what? Better safe than sorry." I'm going
to go. She's gonna get herself a new one.
Getting a little obsessive here.
No, I am telling the audience this so that they know we all go through these kind of experience. So
absolutely.
You want to make sure that you brush off the surfaces with the mold. Make sure you get rid of all of it, okay? And porous materials like carpeting. If you have a carpet, and try not to have too much carpet material in your bathroom that's going to get wet. Sometimes we have these mats, we have to wash them regularly, okay?
Yeah.
All right. And so if you've got carpeting and furniture, what if your roof was blown off like ours was in 1998? You guys remember George?
Yes.
One of the worst hurricane we experienced in the Federation.
Wow.
And so you have damage to all your furniture and your carpet, and lots of time you can't get these cleaned properly. You may just have to get rid of it so that you do not have these molds. And as we said, seek a professional in larger areas. And you want to always manage any water damage. That's going to be your main important source. Where there's leakage anywhere, a little drip at a time can create these problems in your house, and it can rotten your wood and stuff, and the mold love that type of material.
Hold on tight. I had a former colleague when I worked at Ellat, and the mold infestation actually made her turn dark, the color of your shirt. They didn't figure it out until after a while, and then they cleaned the place, but they didn't realize that the spores were in the books that was still there, like the manuals and stuff. And when she came back, she got dark again, and then they realized, okay, the spores are all over the office when they tested again. So mold is something that's not to be played with.
And as we say, some persons are going to react differently to it and have such much more severe infections.
I had friends that had boils with pus in it from the mold, like it went into their skin and then they just pus up.
Remember that it enters through your skin, through your nasal passage or your airway, or you can ingest it to food and stuff. It likes certain type of foods. It's a coffee beans as well. The two can carry a lot of mold.
Really?
Coffee, beans, if they're not properly processed and stored, it can develop that. Dry fruits and dry nuts, those kind of things carry a lot of mold. That's why persons like farmers who are exposed to this and who work in these can be exposed. The hay too can have a lot of mold in it. So if you're a farmer who works with livestock and these animals and having to feed them these bales of hay, you get exposed to some of these stuff.
Wow.
So it's quite interesting learning about these molds and readings and some of these things. So you don't want to leave wet towels around. You want to make sure drain your water from the house. Now I'm looking at it outside my house. There's a pipe that drains water from the rooftop that's concrete, and I see some dark things there. So that might be mold because the moisture is coming
Doc has done so much research.
So now I have to look into that and make sure that I get rid of it. Because what happens, Kortensia, it starts as something small.
Yep.
And then it expands, and then it becomes a major problem if you do not address these small areas. Because anytime the mold gets somewhere too large where there's moisture and humidity, it's going to grow.
Yeah, and I know a lot of us run our ACs for the hot season that we just had, and sometimes we don't open. I myself am guilty. So like you, as soon as I see white stuff, like I'm thinking I have to throw away two hot suitcases, they have to go because I see them looking white and spotty. So I know that could probably be mold. They have to go. I'm sorry.
With your AC units as well, you want to make sure get them cleaned regularly, Jamsta, with professionals. They come in doing the services that you have, because those vents and stuff can have mold lodged there. Remember, there's moisture in those areas, and inside the AC units, you got to get those clean because they're going to be spores can get trapped inside there and start to multiply.
That's why we have a lot of our government buildings too that people are complaining about molds in there, because imagine the years of AC and then dust in places that you can't see, all of that.
And I started thinking one of our faults, where we fault a lot, is the maintenance. We've got to keep constantly maintaining these governmental properties and our homes as well, doing your regular or biannual cleaning. So you do a deep cleaning where you use 2 days or so over the weekend, and you scrub down things and ensure that these vents are clean and there's no crawl space or dark spots where these mold can. And then of wood and those kind of material, okay? So those places where you have a lot of dry wall, you're going to find them in that type of material.
And you talked about hay. I mean, even when you cut your grass, sometimes you pile it up.
Yeah.
And you might go back and
you see it.
And you see like
literally
mold in spots in the pile.
Like right now outside my yard is wet, and the green moss I just hate opening my window because all I'm smelling is like, and when you sent this last night I was laughing, I said smell outside, smelling musty. But it's just the earth and the green moss and whatever kind of water just sits there, and then it just turns green on the mud.
So where is it collected?
Outside of my bedroom window.
So it's on the wall?
No. The ground itself.
The ground itself.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a concrete or something where it settles?
No. It's actually on the clay, the mud, whatever you want to call it. So it's there. So from the rain falling every single day, it's just collecting. It's not drying enough. So I see the green moss coming up atop. But you see, that's the outside moss or mold, right? And I'd be like, I don't like that smell. So I just don't open the window right now, because I normally try to vent after I run the AC, just to balance the inside and the outside. But I can't take that smell, so I'm not opening the window.
So just remember, some of the common symptoms are going to be like runny nose, upper respiratory problems. Sometimes persons persons often think that they have a flu, because it could be some of these flu-like symptoms, runny nose, red eyes, nasal congestion, that cough that you get to. You don't want to get a severe infection, because this mold can get into your lung as well and give you certain complications or fungal infection. Aspergillosis, you call that from the aspergillum mold. So different infections that can happen within your respiratory system, especially if persons who have a high who are asthmatic or have immunocompromised persons who have chronic lung infections, they're at higher risk than the average person of ingesting these mold spores and creating long-term complications.
And I think it was good that you pointed out earlier that the basic method you use for cleaning it is non-toxic, and you don't have to worry about.
Don't mix too many things.
I mix it.
That young child mix too many cleaners and you go in there and your head feel like it's busting out. You can't breathe after a
So
while.
simple soap and water can do with
and
just a touch of
the other thing, bleach.
And bleach. So these are household stuff that we have all the time too. And so in your work environment, if you look at it, you just encourage the maintenance team to come in from time to time and make sure that but because if a building gets so infested with mold, now it's a much more complex problem. And it needs a specialized team to come in. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, so we give you the final word. I really wish we had calls, but I guess I think this was very timely, because and I'm surprised that we never did this before.
No,
considering how
considering how lots of conversations always about mold, and people being scared of it. Though we got to remember that mold is going to be everywhere. It is part of the ecosystem. It has benefits as well too, as we learned in your food, in medicine, important. So you know that you want to make sure that you emphasize the fact to your audience as well too. Most persons will be fine, though some persons can have allergy to molds, be allergic, and have much more of aggressive response. If you have respiratory pathology, like persons who have chronic bronchitis, chronic emphysema, these are chronic lung diseases, persons who are asthmatic, a lot in our community, you want to avoid these, because if you are allergic to the mold itself, you can have a much more aggressive response, giving you shortness of breath, tightness of the chest, wheezing, worsening your underlying condition. All right. If you felt that you've been exposed to mold, in summary, you can be tested to confirm. But remember, there are a large variety of molds. You can be tested for some to see if you respond to these. You have these antibodies, because most of us will have antibodies to these molds if tested, because we've been exposed to mold at some point or the other in our lifetime. So having the antibodies doesn't mean that you're infected. You would have been exposed, like most of us been exposed to a lots of different environmental stuff. And so we also want to remind our audience that they need to get rid of the mold, because that's the biggest way of managing and treating it. Get rid of the mold that is in the house. Sometimes you may have to get a professional in. Sometimes if it's a smaller area, you can do it yourself just with simple soap and water. It is most time it is not life-threatening, but some persons can go on to have complications like chronic lung infections with fungus and different complications. All right.
Okay. So you heard it from, as we said, the horse's mouth, the good doctor. She told you what to do. She even threw out her cutting board because of a spot. So if your cutting board have a spot, just like I'm going to throw out my cases, throw those things away. We can always replace them. Our life is more valuable than...
I just didn't want to be there.
Listen, I'm with you, because I'm throwing out those things, because I'm looking at them and I'm like, and then as I said, as Jamsta said, you sent it just in time. I'm like, okay, Kortensia, this is your cue to get rid of those things.
No, but if you scrub it down with vinegar,
maybe you can scrub it. I don't material you're soaking.
I had it
vinegar and so on, and
throw it away. We can buy a new one.
Not in a position to buy a new one, Kortensia.
Well, they'll figure out the maths. Jamsta said to scrub it down, okay?
Yeah, I have a plastic one home and I don't hardly use not hardly. I don't use it. No, a cutting board.
Oh, yeah, that
I have
one.
two wooden ones.
That one would be better than the wood. When I realized that too, because remember the wooden one are prettier and they look really nice, okay? But I use those more now to serve. But a plastic one, I think you could scrub that down better with the bleach and stuff.
I actually have a glass one too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fancy.
Yeah, but I use a glass one just to slice. When I bake bread, to slice the bread. I hardly use it. I only basically use it for a certain thing. No, it's not. No, come on.
So when you have guests over, you lay out your bread and your cheese or your thing on these nice.
No, actually no. I just use it for cooking.
You just use it for cooking. But the glass one would be easier to clean down as well too. Okay. So that cellulose kind of tree material and stuff, the spores are going to get inside that material. Easily,
but my boards are good, so I mean they're not. They don't have any. You just
vinegar your boards.
Wash them, and if you feel like a little something might be a little dodgy was going on with something you were preparing, and it just some vinegar, hot water, and you're good. Yeah.
Alrighty. So I want to wish our audience a beautiful Tuesday, and so that everybody go out and live your best life today and have some fun. Remember to be kind to each other as we meet under the sun on our journey today. Have a great day, everyone.
You have a great
Bye-bye.
day. And Week of Those returns next week. I wonder what she's coming with.
Yeah, we gotta wonder.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Found the sound 98.9
At Dental Beginnings, where it all begins with your smile, we provide quality dental care, catering to the needs of the whole family, where gentleness is our specialty and attention to detail is paramount. We offer cleanings, fillings, crown and bridge, root canals, extractions, digital x-rays, and sealants. Dental Beginnings, located at Victoria Road, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Call us at 869-668-1955 or 869-465-1951. Email us at dentalbeginnings@gmail.com or visit our Facebook page. Dental Beginnings. It all begins with a smile.
Ready to bring fresh color and style into your home? It's the Color and Style Savings Event at Hosford Building and Nevis Centers. Right now, get 25% off all paints and tiles store-wide. Transform any room with vibrant paints or refresh your floors with stunning tiles. And with 25% off, there's no better time to give your space that beautiful upgrade. So head to Hosford Building and Nevis Centers and make your dream look a reality with 25% off all paints and tiles for a limited time only. Hurry in and paint, tile, and save today at Hosford's. Terms and conditions apply.
The importance of co-parenting. Every child has the right to bond with the parents that gave them life. Children are happiest when they can freely communicate and enjoy the time, talents, and lessons that each parent brings to the relationship.
We make co-parenting difficult when we focus on differences rather than what is in the best interest of our children. Parents, your relationship with each other should never affect the relationship you have with your child. Celebrate your children together. They deserve your best. A message brought to you by the Department of Probation and Child Protection Services. Contact us at 467-1311 or 662-6833 for more information.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere.
Comprehensive disaster management is about every one of us being ready to manage any natural or man-made event like hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis, fires, oil spills, or volcanoes. It's about having your home or business prepared with an emergency plan as applied. It's prevention. Keeping your home, business, or community well maintained and safe. It's about being able to get your life back on track after the event. Will you be ready? Visit NEMA.kn or log on to NEMA SKN on Facebook.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware.
What gift gives you joy? The gift of home renovations. Apply for a personal loan with CIBC Caribbean and use your funds for a dream holiday, home renovations, or more, and we'll gift you no loan application fee and the chance to win one of 3 prizes in your country from our regional pot of up to US $100,000. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/joy of giving. CIBC Caribbean terms and conditions apply.
TVC Financial Services. We're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services. We are strong. TDC Financial Services. This is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
It's 9:16, and I'm on my lonesome. I thought I'd recap a story that was covered last week on Lavi's show, Real Talk with Lavi. You know, she had some guests on, and they were discussing the conditions. Ellat, the great Ellat of Ellat and Jazz Brass fame, some of the conditions he's been subject to at his senior facility in Florida, and we actually had a story done on the weekend on the topic, and I thought I would actually play it again for you guys. I'm sure most people agree that King Ellat certainly deserves our utmost respect, and even let's say looking out for his welfare in his elder years, his senior years. And many people agree that hasn't been happening. Apparently successive governments have failed to honor some promises, and even his pleas to return home. I understand, for example, that he may not, that there may not be the facilities here to take care of his dialysis problems and maybe some of his other health needs, but I thought I would bring the story to you guys. I think it's something that we need to hear. So let me see if I can find it. Okay, so what happened? We had Styley. Styley is an artist that used to perform back in the day. He was a dancehall artist, and he called into Lavi's show, our Real Talk, and there, he was discussing Ellat's condition at the facility in Florida. So here goes. I'll play it for you guys. Okay, here we go.
In a poignant discussion on the popular radio program Real Talk with Lavi, hosted by Laverne Lavi Gums, Jerome Morris, also known as Styley, addressed the alarming health condition of renowned Calypsonian Elston Nero, famously known as King Ellat. The conversation occurred on November 13th, 2024. It highlighted the neglect faced by the cultural icon whose contributions to the music and cultural heritage of St. Kitts and Nevis have gone largely unrecognized in recent years. Stiley, reflecting on his connection to the artist and the broader implications for national pride, lamented the lack of familial visits and community support for King Ellat during his time of need. Stiley expressed deep frustration over King Ellamat's absence of visitors, noting,
"Most times when I go there, many people ask for his location, his address, which I in turn give to them, and trust me, Lavon, no one, nobody ever come to visit that man."
He detailed the Calypsonian's deteriorating health, including recent complications that have left him bedridden and struggling with his vision. Stiley noted,
"And get up and walk. In a little bit, he can't take cases, he can't see. Right now, everybody going crazy because everybody calling and nobody could get you because he can't see to answer the phone."
According to Stiley, this neglect extends to politicians and fellow artists who have failed to show their support for an individual who has made significant contributions to the cultural landscape of St. Kitts and Nevis. Stiley's heartfelt plea for assistance reflects broader societal issues regarding the treatment of cultural icons and the need for community action. Expressing concern for the quality of care King Ellat receives, Stiley stated,
"You have to be using the chair because after the surgery, they might do therapy for a week or two and then that's it."
He urges the public and relevant authorities to take action, suggesting that local associations and supporters come together to provide aid. Real Talk with Lavi host Laverne Gums echoed the sentiment and called on the St. Kitts and Nevis community living in Florida to do their part in helping the cultural icon. As King Ellamat's future remains uncertain, the discussion highlights the importance of recognizing and honoring the contributions of cultural figures while they are still alive. King Ellat, whose career spans decades, recently released an autobiography detailing his journey and experiences. He is an arranger, composer, guitarist, keyboardist, drummer, and steel pan player. From the 70s to the early 90s, King Ellat was crowned Calypso King 10 times and won Road March 7 times. King Ellat is also a Medal of Honor awardee in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. He has been described as one of the Caribbean's most gifted and celebrated musical icons. He is an Independence awardee, having been granted the Companion of the Star of Merit for musical excellence locally, regionally, and internationally. As fans await further updates on his health, the community reflects on the importance of supporting its cultural heroes through words and tangible actions that show appreciation for their legacies. The full discussion on Real Talk with Lavi can be viewed for additional insights into the pressing situation concerning this legendary figure on WinFM's Facebook page.
Yeah, so thanks to Kevin Brown for covering that story. So yeah, that happened, and we had that broadcast last week, and it was covered by the WinFM News. So I actually would really like to hear people weighing on this. I mean, this is one of those things that you can't talk about enough, I don't think, because like I said last week, if Ellat was an Antiguan or Trinidadian or maybe even a Jamaican or some of these other islands around here who I think do a much better job of St. Lucian. I mean, look at what happened to Julian Alfred. Julian Alfred received a diplomatic passport. Tia LaFond from Dominica received a diplomatic passport. I think her coach also received a diplomatic passport. They received, I think, Julian Alfred, I think, received there was a holiday given for Tia LaFond. She's a long jumper from Dominica. Julian Alfred, who, as you guys may know, won a gold medal for the 100, and she won the silver medal in the 200. Imagine 2 medals in one fell swoop. St. Lucia has never won a medal before, and she was amply honored and rewarded. And you get the distinct impression that these islands, these nations, take a lot of pride in looking after their lions, and in these cases, lionesses. And I gotta say, when it comes to St. Kitts Nevis, not so much. I always get the impression that there's this attitude that says, well, you think you're any different to anyone else because you did so and so. And it almost seems as though people go out of their way to make you feel like, oh, you're no different. I mean, the fact is, listen, you got to face the fact. If someone is an exceptional person, you just have to deal with the fact. You can't go around being resentful and acting like you have to take them down a peg or two. And as a result, you end up neglecting or not even really truly acknowledging and celebrating that person. And I find the whole Ellat thing is a very sad example of our attitude. Short shirt, swallow, obstinate in Antigua. Those people, Vivian Richards, what's the other one? Andy Roberts. These people are like they're like demigods in Antigua Barbuda. And you don't get the impression that Ellat receives the same kind. Yeah, people like to gush. Oh, Ellat this, Ellat that. But when it's time for the rubber to meet the official road, I mean, giving someone let's say one of those national honors every few years during independence. Those things have their practical limitations. It's just an honorific that serves no practical purpose really, except to be tagged on to the end of your name if you happen to go someplace where people might not necessarily know who you are, and they might be curious and ask, oh, what's that? They serve no. The practical honorific should include taking care of him in his senior years, even if it's not going to be here, making sure he has everything he needs. I know there are going to be some people who are going to say, oh, he this, he that. I don't care about all that. I'm talking about the now. I don't care about the past. And people are going to say, oh, he was a bad sportsman. So what? Everybody does that stuff. We can laugh at that stuff now. Oh, someone won and he didn't bring the crown. He didn't come out on stage. I don't care about that stuff. That is petty stuff. We're all human. We all have our faults. I don't care about that. The larger story is that he has put St. Kitts Nevis on the map as far as music, as an arranger, as a producer, as a calypsonian, as a band leader, as a musician. And I don't know if people know that Ellat was the Mighty Sparrows' musical director for many years. Actually toured with Sparrow as his musical director, and that is no mean feat. Just like Kenrick Georges was Arrow's musical director for some years as well. I don't know if people know that. Yes, our very own Kenrick Georges was Arrow's musical director at one time. And even Georges, I would say, on some level, doesn't quite get Bruce Skerritt. None of these people seem to get the kind of kudos and respect I would like to see. I'm just saying. Okay. Another story that I thought needed, that can't be overtold and can't be hammered home more, is the unfortunate incident with the young man who got injured while apparently playing with faulty fireworks. And no, fireworks are not bombs, but the story I'm going to play is going to explain that. Model cop apparently sat down with one of the injured boys, and he very articulately admonished youth to be very careful and not be as I don't think he said foolish, but to really think twice before they mess around with fireworks. And apparently the fireworks, there was talk that the fireworks had not been that they were homemade, but they weren't. They said they actually bought them. So based on what the fireman, you're gonna hear it in the story. Karen Neal Hodge said it. The firework probably had a faulty fuse. Because when you think about it, when you light a firework and you throw it, right? The fuse usually gives you like a 10 seconds. So you can get well away from it before, you throw it and then you still have time you have a good amount of time before it goes off. You can get into a safe position. In this case, according to Karen Neal Hodge, the firework likely had a faulty fuse. But here's a story, and this bee is playing again.
On November 5th, 2024, a firework-related explosion in McKnight left 2 young men aged 19 and 16 seriously injured. The incident occurred on Fort Thomas Road, where the individuals were handling fireworks. Both were transported to the Joseph and France General Hospital for medical care. The 19-year-old required surgery for significant injury to his right hand, and the 16-year-old sustained injuries to his hand and face, with concerns about potential damage to his vision. The incident has brought attention to fireworks safety, particularly during a Guy Fawkes season, when fireworks are often used in public celebrations. Following the explosion, Fire Officer Karen Dale Hodge discussed the incident on Fireproof segment during Wynn's Island Tea program on November 15th, highlighting fireworks safety. Hodge addressed public misconceptions arising from the injuries and the magnitude of the explosion, which led some to refer to the fireworks as a bomb. He clarified the difference between fireworks and bomb, explaining the distinct purposes of the two. Chauvel, the 19-year-old injured in the explosion, described his experience, recounting,
"I only light it, and you see what happened to me, I only light it. Next banner, and I don't know what going on with him. Check so. Just for the youth, say, to keep from bomb. People ain't gonna stop lighting them, but sometimes the custom then go watch and see what coming in the country, check that they could have taken it over slave that's in there."
He expressed his desire to prevent others from experiencing similar harm. One key point made by Hodge was to address the term bomb used by Chauvel and others when describing the explosion. Hodge explained that fireworks, though dangerous when misused, are distinct from bombs. He emphasized that fireworks are designed for entertainment, while bombs are explicitly intended for destruction. He suggested that the confusion stemmed from the explosion's intensity and the resulting injuries. Hodge speculated that the fuse may have malfunctioned, reducing the time between ignition and explosion to just a split second, contributing to the injuries and the damage to a nearby trailer. Hodge used the opportunity to emphasize the need for caution when using fireworks, especially among young people who may not fully understand the risks. He noted that even legally purchased fireworks can be hazardous if improperly handled. While expressing regret for the accident and concerns about missing school, Chauvel also stressed the importance of using fireworks safety, urging others to avoid making the same mistakes. Hodge commended Chauvel on sharing his experience and reinforced the message that fireworks should be used responsibly. He reminded listeners,
"So we have to take all safety precautions, and even in doing so, know that things can go wrong still. I would urge persons that, if you have a fear for them or support, because, I tend not to use them too much, because even the little, what we call the quart bombs, the smaller pops, my girlfriend is afraid of them. So I tend not to use them too much. And there are other persons out there like that, and we don't know the harm we are doing to them by just, having our fun."
He also advised against lighting fireworks in confined spaces or without supervision. Officials are reminding the public to follow safety protocols when using fireworks, particularly during festive periods like Guy Fawkes. They stressed the importance of avoiding dangerous practices such as igniting fireworks in crowded or enclosed areas. The incident serves as a reminder of the potential hazards associated with fireworks.
So yes, and you know, one of the sad aspects of that whole you could say fireworks tragedy is this happened well before. This happened you could say more than a week before, more than a week before Guy Fawkes. I mean, people are so gung ho. People are so gung ho to throw away their money pointlessly blowing up fireworks that this happened on October 25th. So, you know, that's also part of the problem, you could say. I mean, if you want to put it in the context of Guy Fawkes and all that. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So that's part of the problem. Okay. So let's take a quick break and come back. I was kind of hoping I'd get some comments. I don't know why everyone is so quiet this morning. But hopefully we'll get somewhere and some calls, and perhaps people will call in on maybe those two stories or any other stories that I care to table, including the ones I just did.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Similar know about you, but me love sing is a Nevis body.
Soca Zone presents Showcase. Is a brand new show. It's an open mic edition for the artists. You could come and showcase your talent, where you could sing, do what you feel like, freestyle. If you want to be a singer from how long, but don't get it pushed down the courage, this is the show for you. Every first Saturday, every month, we're going to be doing a show for the artists them. This is what the open mic edition is all about. The host Taslim, aka DJ Raspy of Tough House Sound, and Scratchy Bama. We don't know. Soca Zone 98.9, Win FM, Soca Zone Showcase. Every first Saturday, every month, Soca Zone presents Showcase Artist Thing 98.9.
About you, but me love sing is a Nevis body. Fruta full of vitamin thing. Real fruit juice, full of vitamin. Pop open the goodness, just dive in. Fruta every night, fruta every morning.
It's the amazing taste and quality in fruit juice you've come to know and love. Anytime, anywhere, any occasion. Fruta is your tastier, better, healthier choice.
We got the vibes, Fruta. Real nice, Fruta.
And for the families, remember to pick up the 1 liter.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. Here a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Okay, so we are back. Back here on the show. It's 9:38, and we had the Prime Minister's address on. Not address. What am I saying? He was a guest on Inside the News on Saturday. I don't know where address came from. With Enoite Inanga as the host. So we'll be hearing some more coverage of that coming up on the headline news. But I saw a news story basically saying, basically claiming that the Prime Minister said that 8% was equivalent to a double salary. I think that's kind of an oversimplification, but anyway, I thought that was funny. So yeah, if someone can call, send me a text on the Facebook or YouTube page. I'm here alone, so I'm just trying to try my best to engage you guys. Now, Ellat, back on the Ellat issue. It would be nice to also probably hear from Ellat's family, because you heard from Stiley, who's from the area, but that's not the same. That's not the same as having the family weigh in. So I think it would be nice to hear from them and hear their side of the story. I think I heard Stiley say that the family, apparently no one goes to visit him. So yeah, that's kind of concerning. Okay, let's see what's going on the news front that I can share with you guys. It's oddly quiet this morning. No texts. I don't know if there's something wrong with the system, but according to this, there are actually people on listening. So I don't know. So I think in the meantime, let me play you some music by Big Lice. Big Lice, he's the man of the hour at the moment. He has announced that he's going to be running as an independent candidate in the next election. Those of you know he is a trained political scientist, and he is also a Calypsonian. So I don't know if you guys want to give this a listen in the meantime. Things not going well.
We know they're good. Things not going well. A message to Dr. Drew and his crew. Listen carefully, You thought I was joking when I start complaining that things in this country not going well. You ignored my warning, and instead of heeding to the things I said, you gave me hell. But instead of getting better, we deeper in the mire. Now the whole ship going under. And all across the country, the people unhappy. Can't eat, can't sleep, and fearing for their safety. And they crying, things not going well. Oh, things not going well. Things not going well. Things not going well. And nobody has to tell you that what I say is true, because it ain't only me. And you're feeling it too. There's hardly anybody in this land not getting hell, because things not going well. It's easy to tell, things not going well. In this federation, those things really not going well. Murders escalating, the body count rising, the country going through hell. It is clear that what we're doing simply is not working. Meanwhile, another family is in mourning. While some blame the police for the obvious increase. For me, of justice there is no peace. And they crying, things not going well. Oh, things not going well. Things not going well. Things not going well. And nobody has to tell you. Now what I say is true, because it ain't only me. You feeling it too. There's hardly anybody in this land not getting hell, because things not going well. It's easy to tell, things not going well. Yes, things tight. We know they're good. Jack and Marky, good friend Manlin Davis, Holy Faith. Come on. In the business sector, things not getting better. Small business owners going through real hell. It's like we are forgetting that they are the engine, and when they strike, the country does well. As we look to build a future where everyone does better, we need a very strong small business sector. We have no other option trying to save this nation but to join hands and work in unison. And we sing, things not going well. Oh, things not going well. Things not going well. Things not going well. And nobody has to tell you. Now what I say is true, because it ain't only me. Me friend them feeling it too. There's hardly anybody in this land not getting hell, because things not going well. It's easy to tell, things not going well. Hi, so man. This one is for the leaders. All them thin skin leaders. From number 3, you better listen. Yeah. Leaders, are you listening to all the complaining that things in this country not going well? The masses are crying, have a heart and coping, while some behaving like their heads swell. Some of your recent behavior leave much to be desired, like trifling with the media. You better take stock quickly and face reality. But don't test, don't mess with our democracy. And they crying, things not going well. Oh, things not going well. Things not going well. Things not going well. And nobody has to tell you. Now what I say is true, because it ain't only me. I'm gonna keep feeling it too. There's hardly anybody in this land not getting hell, because things not going well. It's easy to tell, things not going well. Things not going well. Yes, what happened to the water problem, man? Things not going well. What about the road up in Monkey Hill? On the road? Things not going well. What going on with the Parental High School, sir? What going on? Things not going well. The people say they want a double salary, man. Things not going well. That's about the Kim Collins Stadium. What going on there? Things not going well. Lord, the food prices so high, they're killing us, man.
It's not going well.
Yeah, what about them 2,000 houses you promised the people, man?
It's not going well.
Yeah,
Hey, that's Big Rice.
It's not going
First Calypso contribution for the Sugar Mash season. Things not going well.
where is the help?
And what on the topic?
Businesses.
Here's the reigning monarch, Miss Independent. Look inside the home. With 11 minutes to go until the top of the hour and the end of Island Tea. Okay, that's the reigning queen with 4 minutes to go until 10 o'clock. And I had some calls coming in. Actually, had some calls coming in during. I don't know where they do that at. I've been looking for calls all morning, and you guys just decide to call during a song. Go figure. So yeah, that's the queen. She's gonna be trying to defend her crown this year after people like Big Lice and so on. And today also happens to be International Men's Day. So let me read something that someone just sent me. Yeah, so International Men's Day. Apparently, yesterday on Money Matters, I think I found out that apparently there are two Men's Day celebrations. One is recognized by the UN, the other isn't. So today is celebrated as International Men's Day. The theme for this year, Positive Male Role Models, emphasizes the positive impact of men in various spheres of life, including their families and communities. To you who stand tall in the face of challenges, who lead with compassion, and who inspire us with your actions, happy International Men's Day. I got some hashtags here. Men's Day. Go where you are celebrated and go where you are valued. Yeah, so International Men's Day. We got a comment here on the Calypso. You guys decide to start doing comments at this late hour. What's going on? 2 minutes until 10. It's Carlisle Paris. Good morning. Great classic Calypso rhythm and melody. Traditional social commentary with beautiful harmony voices. Big Lice is a great gift in the SKN in St. Kitts. Thanks again for sharing in cultural heritage. Okay, so yeah, so would have been nice if you guys had commented a lot earlier though. And I basically left alone for a whole hour and no one was coming in to interact with me, and then you guys choose to call during a song. Anyways, all good. Still love you guys. Okay, we got 2 minutes until 10 o'clock. So if someone calls me, and I could sneak in a 30-minute call or something, because someone was calling during Miss Independent. So I'm assuming someone had something to say. Once again, International Men's Day today. Those guys on Money Matters yesterday were making the point that men are given short shrift, and they also made a great point was made, something which I've always said and I've always noticed and I've always talked about it, that women can be unapologetically themselves, for better or for worse. They can be assertive, but men are suddenly it becomes toxic and undesirable and not cool when men are assertive. And men are men. So dudes, just to let you know, there's nothing wrong with being a man. Never apologize for being a man. And the ladies, do what you do, but let's just be clear. A lot of this stuff that you guys are empowered to do now, some of it is not cool. And when it comes to me, you guys are not going to get away just because you're women. I'm sorry. Gotta call a spade a spade. So, and I'm not beating up on women, don't get me wrong. Why am I apologizing? I shouldn't need to apologize. People with comprehension skills will know what I'm saying. And according to Gwyneth, tomorrow we continue. 10 o'clock. That's going to do it for Island Tea for today. Hope you guys have a great day.